This is actually like a unique find because Spider-Girl came out in 1998. I was like right in the mid between middle school and high school around this time, and I actually remember finding like a copy of this, and I was like, okay, cool. It's like an alteration of Spider-Man and stuff like that. And something that I actually thought was really cool is I actually liked how uh, they updated this. It's a typical thing to like bring the original characters older and then have them have kids and stuff like that. But I actually found myself liking a lot of this idea of Spider Girl, of Peter Parker having a daughter and all of that. And I actually like this whole style of hers because this was different. Like uh, back then, because I like the idea that she had shorter hair. I like the idea that she was more of a she's not a nerd as much as she is like an athlete. She's like a basketball player in the book. So it was like a cool idea to make her different, but like make her more obviously athletic and all that kind of stuff. And I actually like going back and rediscovering this, and I liked that there something I didn't notice because I only read like about 3 or 4 issues of the original comic. Uh, that there's actually a lot of backing up where like she has to prove to her parents that she can be responsible, that she is not going to like make this joyride that her dad is afraid that she's going to think like, oh, you got superpowers, so like you're invincible and stuff like that. And I like that this is like a parental story that builds up in a lot of stuff. The only issue I really have with this is and yeah, like the little updates they do to like Fantastic Four and stuff like that. Uh, and I actually like I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a picture of his leg, but I like the idea that Spider-Man ends up losing his leg, which was an interesting. Well, they don't show it there. Okay, excuse me. Well, they don't show it there either. Well, there's a cool shot where he has his cyborg leg, and I may keep searching around until I find it somewhere if it's there. And yeah, like I said, like I always thought she was hot, even back then. Even though like I'm very much an MJ redhead, so no, so that's always where it's gonna be with me. And I did like this. This is actually like my favorite part of the original 6, 7 issues where Peter Parker's fighting with his daughter, and then all of a sudden, uh, uh, what the heck was that called? The Venom suit gets stuck on him again. He ends up fighting his daughter, and I said like, okay, that's a cool idea. And I actually like a later story where like she goes back to the past and ends up meeting Peter Parker and everyone when they're back in the. If I could find it, I could just go through it. Yeah, like I love that. You know what? That's not even like that's that fake baloney that he does like that. Oh yeah, here it is. Where she's fighting her dad, and yeah, the Human Torch. I never liked the Human Torch in any version. Probably like the most stuck up character of all Marvel comics, probably. Which is why I'll live if they never do fantastic another Fantastic Four movie. But yeah, anyway, that is Spider Girl. I only got Volume 1 because I only read the first 6 issues back then, so I said like I'm gonna hold off on getting any more of these. But from what I've read so far, I'm like halfway through this now, so I'm actually interested in seeing where they took this comic for. Now, the reason I only saw like the first 6 issues is because I used to get my comics at a local pharmacy that had like a little comic stand, but at some point they quit selling comics, and I never could find another issue of Spider Girl. But then again, I was going to high school and other stuff was becoming priority and stuff like that. Even though I never stopped reading comics, I never really stopped reading anything. Period. Although I didn't get into like I was never like a big comic collector, so like this was just like an issue, and I actually would like to see them do like a different take on this. I would be glad if they tried this out as like an anime series on Netflix or something like that, because I think half the reason why I loved Into the Spider-Verse, and I think a lot of people did too, we're getting sick of Peter Parker. We're getting sick of like hearing the same story over and over and over again. Now that we're in Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, this is the third time we're hearing Peter Parker's Peter Parker's story. So I'm like, I think everyone, including me, is like, let's hear another side of the story. And I think I liked Miles Morales' story, which I thought helped like a lot of the zaniness that Into the Spider-Verse had. And this would be like a good pick too, cause it'd be cool to see like Peter Parker from a different stage of his life, and seeing like where all these other characters have come from. So, not a bad idea. So, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But this is definitely like a definitely check it out if you never have before, and I definitely would recommend it.